Hi everyone, it's Leilani. Welcome back to my channel. So today, friends, we are going to be working on another Project Life spread for week 39 of 2025. So this week was a really special one because it's all about going to see my favorite band, Rilo Kiley, in Nashville. Now, for this spread, I really didn't need very many cards. So instead of trying to search through my 4x6 cards, which is where I'm lacking a bit in the cards, I do have like a decent little stash of them, but they're very random. And a lot of times they're harder to match with things and whatnot. So I had a couple sheets of this paper that is an older one from, I think, Heidi Swapp. And it's one of my favorites. I can't remember what collection, but I had a few handy. One side is the sky, and I really just love sky paper. It's one of my favorites. And then the other side is this rainbow. So I thought, well, I like both of those sides. I'm just going to use those because I really only needed a pattern paper for my title card, and then the one other 3x4 there to put the hotel card on, and then I needed one card for journaling. So I pulled out, I knew I had tons of LA Studio cards that would be perfect for journaling. So this concert was on a Tuesday. So I just pulled out one of the little cards that says notes from Tuesday, and I decided that I would do all of my journaling on that card. Now I am going to also have an insert, but that one's going to be really simplistic too, mostly just for a few extra pictures. So we'll get there at the end. But for now, I'm working on my title card, and I pulled out these larger white alphas, and I'm spelling out week 39. I grabbed these. I think that they were an older LA Studio one, if I'm not mistaken. I know you can't really see them too good. I thought about outlining them, but then I decided I didn't want to outline them. And I figured in person you can see it just fine. It's just like on the camera and stuff. So I just left it. I was happy with how it was, and I ended up leaving it. I used those same gold label stickers from Allie Edwards that I used last week. I just had them on my desk, so I thought I would use them again. And I did pull out these gold different like little shapes, and I decided to use the asterisk shape here and there. So I popped 3 on. Then I was looking for some tiny phrases. So I think I might be digging in my drawer right now looking for tiny phrases. And I did not edit much out of this video. I want to say that now. So if there's any like lags where you're like, okay, where'd you go? What are you doing? It's because I decided not to edit anything out. I wanted to keep it a little bit longer. So I only edited out my journaling right here. Everything else is just going double time speed. So as you can see, I added on all of my journaling, and I had a lot of photos because this week was all about, like I said, going to see Rilo Kiley. Now, I did a couple other things in the week, but I really just wanted to document this one main thing. This was my big thing from the week where I had the most photos, all of that kind of stuff. I did find this acetate heart, and I find a few more from Studio Calico in my stash. So I kind of rearranged my title card to add that on there as well. So you'll see with my photos, I have a picture of the big like marquee that said Rilo Kiley in front of the Pinnacle. So that's where it was. It was at the Pinnacle in Nashville. Then I have a picture of the stage and the crowd at the bottom, which I really liked. And then I also have a selfie of me and Will. There was a photo booth. So I have photo booth pictures. I do have the actual photo booth pictures, and I put one in my Hobonichi if you saw that video, but I really liked this picture of me just holding the photos, and so I thought I'll use that other photo booth somewhere else, or I'll pop it on my wall or whatever. I end up removing this yay off the Cambria hotel card, but I actually kind of like it now that I'm looking at it, but I do remove that, unfortunately. And then my only other photos, I have donuts from Five Daughters. We always have to go to Five Daughters when we go to Nashville. It is a must. And we picked up donuts for my dad for his birthday, which we came home on my dad's birthday. So I have a picture of those there. And then I also have a picture of the Rilo Kiley like tour that they were posting, and this particular post was just talking about Nashville and like that it was at the Pinnacle, that the Faint opened for them, stuff like that, which I thought would be interesting to have for later. So I just screenshotted that, and I've had it in my photos forever. So I made sure to print that out. And then of course you see the key card for the hotel. I love to keep things like that too, because I mentioned this I think in my Hobonichi video, but so many times I look back at my Project Life album and I will check like, what was that random place that we ate at, or what hotel did we stay at? We really liked that hotel, stuff like that. So I love keeping little pieces of ephemera. So here I've mostly added everything on. I mean, I have the majority, like I said, are photos, so it just went by really quickly. I did find some light purple tiny phrase stickers, so I tried to make those work, and I added 3 of them on. They were mostly about like TV watching and like book reading and things like that. But I put the one that said my favorite show, which probably meant TV show, but I put that at the bottom on Rilo Kiley, meaning like my favorite show, my favorite concert kind of thing. And then I found a couple more that worked. And then I just decided to sprinkle on some of these stars. I still have the ones that I punched out for summer. So I have the gold ones and then some of the hot pink, but I felt like the hot pink kind of worked here. So I added a few of those on. I am preparing a few things there for my little insert, and then I'll show you up close my pages here. And that one went by super quick because I didn't have that much like embellishing or anything to do. So now we are going to work on the insert. So I did have a few extra photos. So this is just the same page protector, but I cut it down a little bit. So I just like sliced a few of the like little page protectors off of there. And then I also printed off this picture of me and Rachel. So the only thing that's not actually from the concert is a picture of me and my friend Rachel, which is over to the side, and you'll see me document that here in a minute. But that also happened the same week. So I wasn't sure how I was going to document that. I didn't know if I was going to do like a little mini layout or what I was going to do. But as I was prepping for this insert, I realized that I had like one 4x6 that was just like I needed something to go there. And I didn't have any other pictures from the trip. So I thought, okay, I'll just print off that picture of Rachel and that will be included because that also happened this week. So that worked out nicely. Now here is the part where I'm not sure if this is going to take me a minute because I feel like I look through my drawer forever. So we're just going to have a little chit chat moment. I unfortunately was going to write Rilo Kiley there in the middle of that 4x6 pattern paper there. And I realized I didn't have any Ks. So now I'm looking through my drawer here and see, this is where I probably should have cut it out, but I found some hearts there. So I think I'm going to use those. And then I'm going to look for some alphas as well. And I find different white alphas that end up working pretty well. So I add those on instead, but I'm going to start just adding a few embellishments, and then let's just continue to chit chat for these last few minutes. So today, whenever I am doing this video and recording the audio, we are at September 30th. So it is the very last day of September. If you can believe it, I can, because I've been patiently waiting for months for tomorrow, October 1st, to get here. I know that y'all are probably sick of me talking about it, but it's my favorite time of year. And it's a time where I just really, really look forward to this all year long. I mean, from the moment that the new calendar year starts in January, I am awaiting spooky season. And I love spooky season because I love the holidays. But also, I love the anticipation of spooky season and then in October, and knowing that it's not just over with, Halloween being done. It's like, no, then we still have November with Thanksgiving and we still have Christmas. And so that's like a really great feeling because, of course, then when Christmas is over, you're like, oh man, all the holidays are done. That's usually how I feel. So anyways, I'm very excited. I'm very excited for all of the documenting this month, and I have a really busy month going on. So I can't wait to share that with y'all. So here you can see on this card, I actually really ended up liking this alpha a lot. So I spelled out Rilo Kiley, and then I decided to add a few more of those little sprinkly stars there. So I think I had one more gold one, and then that's all I'm going to do here. So I just kind of sandwiched that in between 2 more pictures of the band, and then I added one other little tiny phrase sticker at the bottom. Then I have a picture of the view out of our hotel window. And I wanted to include that because we were at this like corner room, and it was really cool because we had a nice big room at the Cambria and we were at a corner. So we actually had 3 windows. So we had all of these windows, and they really overlooked like downtown Nashville. And that's the Batman building, which is like an iconic building in Nashville. And at night, it was really pretty too. I wish I would have gotten a picture of that, but I forgot. So anyways, but that was our view. Then I have a picture there of me after the concert that Will took. And then I have this one of me and Rachel at the bottom. So one of the tiny phrase stickers there said, "Dear self." So I wanted to write something like, "Dear self, like, don't, or always remember, like, how great meeting up with Rachel is, the best," or something like that, because this is my friend Rachel. You might recognize her from some other videos, but we have not seen each other in months and months, and she's just a great friend of mine, a dear friend, and I absolutely loved getting to hang with her and to get dinner with her, and it was really special and unexpected, and it was wonderful. So I definitely wanted to document that. I just felt like I kind of rushed my handwriting on that one, so I had other labels, so I just decided to redo it, and I actually like this kind of longer label a lot more than the circle that I went with first. So I'm just going to rewrite that in the same idea, and then I'm going to add the little asterisk, and I'm also going to add a couple more of the little sprinkly stars, and then I end up, I believe, putting an ampersand on the cloud heart that I added in the middle of the rainbow. So I didn't have a lot to say. I mean, I could have gone on and on about Rilo Kiley and how excited I was to see them. This was my very first time to ever see Rilo Kiley. I've seen Jenny Lewis, the lead singer, many times, but Rilo Kiley I don't believe that they've ever played around these parts before. So it was really special because of that. It was so nostalgic because they, most of their albums and things came out like in the early 2000s, and it was just like they're a band that I loved in high school, but has been a band that has continued to just follow me into all aspects of my life. So it was a very cool show. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this process video. If you did, please give me a like, and please also consider subscribing. And of course, I will be back at you super soon, like super, super soon, with all kinds of fun October content. So have a great day, friends, and I will talk to you later. Bye, y'all.